Welcome to Spirit Club, a podcast and community where we talk about what's really running the show, your inner world. I'm Angel, your host, your guide, and your spiritual bestie. Around here, we're all about doing the inner work because your outer reality is only ever a reflection of what's going on within. We practice radical ownership, freedom in faith, surrendering our path to God, and trusting our intuition like our lives depend on it. Because honestly, they do. So take a breath, open your heart, and let's dive in. Hey, Spirit Club, happy holidays, and welcome to what will be the last episode of 2025. I was just calling you all energetically into the space because today's episode is going to be about you. I'm putting you in the spotlight. I'm calling you out. No, I'm not calling you out, but today I really just want to talk directly to my people. I want to preach to the choir. I've been doing a lot of work around my vision, my message, my audience. And I just feel really inspired to talk directly to you. So today I just want to talk about who you are and what your challenges are, what you want, and then end with a little 2026 reading for you collectively, for us, because I am also you. I am also here in Spirit Club. So, who are you? So here are some ways that I would describe you, Spirit Club. First of all, you are people who live spiritual lives. You walk a spiritual path. And not the white robes, Palo Santo, out of touch, kind of spiritual looking life. No, you have an innate mysticism to you that you bring along the human path that you walk. So you bring it into your normal human life. That is who you are, Spirit Club. And because of that, you do the inner work. Not because someone says you should do the inner work, not because others around you are doing it so you feel like you have to, not because you get something out of it, but rather because that is how you walk your spiritual path, by doing the inner work. You've always been naturally really aware. You've always been naturally really reflective. And so doing the inner work is really just a lifestyle for you. It's not a hard thing that you do. It is how you live your life. So that is what makes you a big part of Spirit Club. Spirit Club, you are also very ambitious. I did an episode once on being meant for more, being in this subset of souls, this meant for more subset, and you, my dear community, are in this subset of souls. You have this underlying feeling that drives you, this calling that drives you, this meant for more calling. And that naturally has made you very ambitious. And that ambition, maybe when you were younger was a little bit misplaced. It might have looked like, I don't know, climbing the corporate ladder or something like that. But the older you get, the more aligned that ambition gets towards building your meant for more life. And Spirit Club, you are brave. You are brave. You take courageous action. It is a part of doing the inner work, and it is a part of following that ambition and that meant for more feeling. And you challenge the status quo. So you challenge the way things have always been. You challenge the way things have been for your lineage, your ancestors, your family. You challenge your programming. You challenge the way the world says things should be. You just naturally challenge that, which is why unblocking work is often something you meet along your healing path. And Spirit Club, you are not a victim. Maybe every now and then we're all a little victim-y, but you take ownership of your journey. You take ownership, and that empowers you. And finally, this kind of goes without saying, but you are intuitive, duh. And everyone is intuitive. I talk about that a lot, but you, Spirit Club, you listen to your intuition. You trust your intuition. You work with your intuition. And because of that, you naturally have a connection and a relationship to God, to Spirit, whatever word it is that you use. So I hope that describes you a little bit. And if you're still listening, well, then this is probably you. So let's talk about your challenges. Let's talk about what holds you back and why. And, these are probably going to be very familiar to you because these are going to be themes that you've worked on or know that you need to work on. And don't worry, we will be working on them here. We will continue to work on them because these are the things that will just naturally hold you back from that meant for more life that I know you want. So the first challenge that you often have is you are a hustler. You are busy, 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 highly productive, and subject to burnout. And this is just sort of a natural consequence of having that meant for more feeling, having that high ambition, poorly placed without reprogramming, that can put you in a place of hustling, working really, really hard, and just not in the way that aligns. So why does it hold you back? Well, while it does drive you forward, it also, you expend all the energy you have in the wrong place. And you have no energy left to create that meant for more life that I know that you want to create. So you will have to untangle your self-worth from your hard work ethic in order to meet what it is that you want in this life. Second thing that holds you back is perfectionism. You guys are often very afraid of making mistakes, afraid of failure, afraid of getting it wrong, and often really paralyzed by analysis, like paralyzed by the mind in that way. And so why does this hold you back? Well, it goes without saying, but done is better than perfect. What is it? Imperfect action better than perfect inaction. So we need to work through this perfectionism in order to actually take steps forward. Okay, third thing that you are often challenged with is people pleasing. You come up against your people pleasing nature a lot. And this is because I'm going to venture to say that all of you are highly clairsentient. And you may not know because it's something you've been doing since you were a child, and so you don't realize that it's not what everyone does. But you, since you were a child, were able to sense how others were feeling, and then because you could sense how they're feeling, you went ahead and took care of them so that they were feeling better, likely so that you also could feel safe. And you still do this to this day in some way. I'm sure you've worked through a lot of levels of this, but it will probably be something that will continue to come off in layers, this people-pleasing nature. And why does it hold you back? Well, you cannot show up and serve in the way that you want to serve, live this big, impactful life that you want if your cup is empty. And your cup will be empty if you are constantly putting the needs of others first. And also, it's pretty difficult to hear and work with your intuition if you have a tendency to always serve others first, because that is going to trump your intuition. You know what I mean? So we'll need to work through that one. Another thing that holds you back is receiving. You struggle to receive in bigger ways and take up space. So I'm going to kind of clump those two together because they kind of go hand in hand. If you are uncomfortable taking up space, you are also uncomfortable with receiving. And I think that this is common for this community, again, because of the people-pleasing nature, because of historically always putting the needs of others before your own. Therefore, your needs and receiving is difficult for you because you're always turning it outward. And then being seen in a bigger way, taking up space, being in the spotlight has not come natural to you. And then the last thing today that I'll share that often holds you back is believing in yourself. And this is sort of, it's like a sweet wound that I hold dearly because it's kind of like an inner child wound. And it's something that you will come up against at every up level and often looks like self-doubt. So self-doubt for me always shows up as my inner child. And so every time you're ready to up level and you feel self-doubt coming up and you feel this like, I'm not sure I believe in myself to go to that next level, you just need to find a way to work with her. You don't need to kill her off. You don't need to like silence her. You just need to know that she's there to protect you and to find a strategy to work with her, because she will show up. She will show up every time you're pushing through a ceiling. So just know that that's a part of the process. But over time, you'll get stronger and you'll believe in yourself more and more in bigger and bigger ways. So those are your challenges. Am I describing you? Are you still here? Well, if you are, then we've narrowed it down to my people. So what is it you want, Spirit Club? I know what you want. You want that big meant for more life. You want that magical, abundant, joyful, present, spirit-led life. A life that probably doesn't look like the lives of anyone around you, but a life that's been calling you. It has been calling you since you were little. And I'm here to help you reach that life. I also I'm with you. So together we will build this momentum and we will live that life. We are living that life. All right, let's talk about 2026. Couple things that came up when I felt into the energy of this community of Spirit Club for 2026. So 2026 has major coming out of the cave energy. So it feels like you've been in a period of inner work, of sort of hermit solitude. It feels really quiet and inward, yet very powerful. And that power has built to a point where you're ready to leave the cave. Because we can only expand so far within the cave, right? So in 2026, I see you taking action. Taking action. This has been a piece that is missing, but it's ready. It is time. And I think most of you know that action that you are going to take. But if you don't, I think the clarity will come to you before those big planets move into Aries early on in 2026. So 2026, you're coming out of the cave, you are taking action. And you are also going to be seen and heard in a bigger way, right? Kind of naturally, if you come out of the cave, you're going to be seen. You're going to be more seen, more heard than when you were in the cave. And because of the work that you've done, it feels like you are more aligned with your authenticity. You are more expressed. You are more familiar with yourself. And so this is allowing you to use your voice in a bigger way. And listen, that might ruffle some feathers, right? As it does. People aren't used to hearing you in a bigger way, used to seeing you in a bigger way. So it might ruffle some feathers, but don't let that scare you back into the cave. Okay, so another word that came up a lot for you for 2026 is perseverance. So just knowing that as you begin to take action, it won't always be perfect. We're not doing perfectionism anymore, right? Imperfect action is what we're about here. And so it's going to require some trial and error. It's going to require some tweaking. It's going to require some flexibility. You're going to come up against pivots from God that you need to move with. So the word perseverance was coming up because, again, that natural quality of perfectionism, and because you haven't taken action in some time in this way. When you meet challenge, you might have a tendency to be like, oh God, I'm going to go back in the cave. But no, we are not. We are going to persevere. Another theme of 2026 is I see you surrounding yourself with more like-minded people. And honestly, I don't even mean like-minded. I mean like soul. I was like, how do I say this? Like soul, like similar energy people. Because right now you are quite unlike your friends and family. You sort of stand out, you lead, you're a pioneer in that way, and that's by design. But sometimes we need to surround ourselves with folks of similar energy, of folks with similar paths, messages, so that we can keep the momentum going, so that we can continue to expand, so that we can hold hope, so that we can hold the capacity, hold the bigger meant for more life. So I see you doing this periodically in 2026. It could be like attending a couple in-person events. It could be joining some sort of like virtual group that meets now and then, but some little community that's going to connect you with folks that are like you. And with this, I was getting the word language. So it feels like there's a language that needs to come out of you. Perhaps a language that you have grown or developed within your cave. And it needs to be spoken out loud. It's time for it to come out of you. And how it comes out of you, maybe that will be through some form of expression. So maybe like writing, something artistic. Or maybe it's just within these like-minded circles, actually speaking your true language, not diluting it, not censoring it, not making it more digestible, because you'll be in a community that can receive it, can hear the message. It will allow you to speak this language. And it just needs to come out. It needs to come out for the earth, to be honest, which leads us into the final message for you for 2026, which is 2026 is going to feel very much like a new world, a new earth. It's already starting to feel that way. It's like the earth has reached a certain amount of light that it's ready to really shift, and has already started to shift. And so that means the old ways are gone. We have to let go of them. The old ways of doing, of being, the old ways that things operated, the old structures, the old stories, they all need to go. And you're aware of that. You already sort of work this way naturally. But know that your role is really in creating the new earth, in creating the new world. So whenever you're feeling lost, whenever you're feeling disheartened, whenever you're losing motivation or inspiration, allow this to move you. Allow the knowledge that you following your path and creating this life that you've always felt called to is how you are helping to create the new world. It's an important mission. Okay, that's it. That's it for 2025. I'll be back first week of January, and we will get to work because shit is happening this year. Look, we're taking action. We're taking action together. And I hope that together we can hold the energy, hold the momentum, and do what it is that we want and are ready to do. So I'll just end this episode with a prayer. God, thank you for this community. Thank you for the clarity in who I am here speaking to, connecting with, working with. Thank you for this platform that allows me to channel, to express, to evolve myself. And thank you for the shared momentum that we as Spirit Club are going to begin to harness. We ask as we step into these holiday season that we may be present to the peace and joy that are available, that we may protect and know our energy, but that we may lay down our grievances and surrender to the love that is available. That's it. Amen. Sending you lots of love, Spirit Club. Until next year.